Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I know it's been a while, and we probably got that divorce paperwork like hanging out and collecting dust, hopefully. So, yeah, let me tell you what's going on. I knew that I planned to do this. I've hinted at this. I've said it's coming. But it's here, and it's official. So now we can kind of talk about it. And I can be like, oh, I don't have to be so coy in terms of, what's coming and stuff like that. So let's just start out with the elephant in the room, the 8-star crystal. Because this was by far the biggest investment. And I'm talking the 7-star crystals and the 8-star crystal. It was big. So yeah, let's just jump out there. But who cares about that? Let's talk about why I put it on the infantry versus bowman damage reduction. Now, I thought about this. I've seen 242 to this as well, and I thought about it. And I think he's right, because what dies most often? Infantry. And what do how do you make them die less? Well, you have them get less damage from the number one culprit who's killing them, which is bowman. So it was either this or it was bowman versus infantry. So basically trying to kill more infantry. In my mind, it could kind of swing either way. I think if I was playing raid, maybe we'll flip this around and just kind of test it. So I'm going to test moving their 8-star crystal around, and I'll let you guys know. So this is the elephant in the room. And don't ask me how much it costs. Don't ask me all this other stuff. It's one of the things, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. And I don't mean to be rude or anything like that, but let's just not focus on that for today. So don't smash me in the comments saying, hey, how much it costs. I mean, if you want to make my channel more popular, please drop a comment. It can be good or bad. Actually, it totally, Google's algorithm doesn't mind at all. So you can use whatever language you want and stuff like that. You can hate me and all these things, because the more comments that people leave, the more popular my channel will be. So haters, go for it. So the elephant in the room, we got that out of the way. Now let's talk about war strategy, tomes, and this confusing stuff that, wow, I have no clue what to do here still. But I'll tell you what I'm currently testing out, and what maybe kind of sort of, almost maybe kind of sort of, I don't know what the heck to think about this, whatever. This is what I'm testing. So the one I circled there, sacrifice. This is for me, this is like the most controversial, because it requires your troop march to be 50% infantry. Now, if you think about that for a minute, 50% infantry, like that stinks. What kind of nonsense is that? But based on my testing in Firelands before, based on my experience of KVK last weekend, it's kind of working. However, my friends, I don't know. I need to do more testing without it, actually. We're going to cover something else here in a minute. But 50% infantry in your march, it seems to be working. And then we'll cover my exact march that I'm using here in a minute. And the other stuff is just cav. Can't scroll. I took screenshots. I'll tell you why I took screenshots here in a minute. But yeah, this is what I'm rolling with currently on my tomes. So if you ask me, hey, where to put the tomes, I just can only tell you to max them. There's really no priority for it, like I should do this versus I should do that. If you're really trying to min max or anything like that, I guess balanced, I really don't know. There's no stat that jumps out and says it's so significantly better than the others that you need to prioritize it. So I'm not really that helpful there, guys. I'm the wrong person to ask about that. If you ask me the impact of it, it's there. If you ask me exactly down to the decimal point what exactly it's doing, I don't know. I still don't know. This is just one of those things where they won't really tell us. They won't show us the impact. We have no clue. We're just at their mercy. Yeah, that's it. So, sorry, this is the best I got for you. But this is the most controversial one. The other one would be, if you're doing like KVK rallies, the T11 are they're just gonna die so quick. So I would maybe skip T11 infantry and I would use more T10 infantry. And I would put the protection on the T10 infantry in your tomes if you're a mega rally leader and you have people reinforcing with T10. So that's the only other quickie advice I have for you there. I don't know. Okie dokie, this is a big one. Now, we've got really kind of two elephants here. We just circled the bigger one though. And I have questions on it. And I'm going to tell you what I think I know and what I don't know. So the critical hit chance can happen, 30%, 40% of the time. It's really, relatively speaking, very inexpensive to get 30% critical hit chance. So an average 40, you don't have to be a superhero for it. You can be an average 40 rolling around with 1 in 3 chance for this thing to proc. And what it says in the gift box area is it's 150% damage. And I'm not really showing you my damage stats here because, well, they're boring and you can see those damage stats just about anywhere. But let's go back and say that one of the most important things in the game is damage. Letting that sink in again. I'm going to say it again. One of the most important stats in the game is damage. There, twice. Now, you have things like acolytes, you have things like dragon, you have things like banners, heroes. These things are mega super important. Now, it's really one of those things where I have it and you don't, or you have it and I don't. Because imagine dragon's out. Why does it just murder? It's not because of the troop stats. It's because of the damage stuff. With dragon out, we're talking hundreds of percent. So with dragon out, it's just blatantly obvious. However, if you have 300% base and you multiply that by 150, wait a second. Is that kind of like having your dragon out? Curious minds want to know indeed. So this raid, I'm going to be hitting you if you're playing raid against me. And I'm going to hopefully be seeing some hits that are bigger than normal. And if I see hits that are bigger than normal, I'm going to be like, ooh, critical hit. I'm going to bookmark it. I'm going to talk about it. And we're going to have a follow-up on this. Because the question is, and I've heard, that there could be a damage cap. So if the damage cap is 300%, 350%, 400%, 200%, I don't know what it is. But if there is a damage cap, in fact there is a damage cap, then you can proc and it's basically nothing. So it'll be a very expensive research item that's effectively worthless. Would King of Avalon do this? Yeah, probably. Totally. Give you something to spend money on that has no value whatsoever? Totally. Explain it not at all? Just barely explain it? Yeah. Like mansplaining? All you ladies and wives out there, you know what I'm talking about. Like the husband gives an answer and it's not an answer. That's kind of what they did, and we know it and I know it. But we're going to try and get some data on it to see. Now, let's talk about the non-red circled area. So, some guy the other day was talking about my stats on YouTube. And he's a clown, and he said he doesn't like me, and he's not a fan, and things like this. But I can totally understand why he did that, because I made fun of him. So we'll just call him Brittle Bob. And I was joking in my previous video, and I really should do a follow-up to that, about he's a redneck that shops at Walmart. And whether he's a redneck that shops at Walmart or he's not, I make these videos for you guys, my fans. And sometimes, I do things that are out of my personal character. I'll be honest with you. It's kind of like an actor. Like the blasty videos. I don't run around in real life. Like just hitting people randomly. It's like, hey, I'm going to go down the street, you know. That's not what I do. I'm actually a pretty boring guy. So for me to basically put on actor mode and go and do the blasty videos, it's for you guys. It's because I love you guys and I want you guys to have fun and be happy. And so sometimes, you know, I make fun of people and I do crazy things, and it's not really me. It's just me doing it for you. But I don't think he gets that. You know, he doesn't have 2,000 subscribers yet. We should drop a link to his channel, because I was really surprised. I tolerated his horrific redneck accent. I'm sorry, I get triggered over it. His horrific redneck accent. But his video wasn't too bad. I mean, it consisted of, oh wow, Revenge has Dragon Shadow, and oh wow, he's doing an efficient job of clearing towers. I mean, this was the highlight to his comment. I mean, to his content. And yeah, and I mean, he got some other things wrong. Like, I did, in fact, have the highest stats last KVK. But, you know, so there we go. This is actually my current stats. I'm not hiding anything. You know, some people the other day said I was like, my stats were too low in Spire. And to be honest, if my stats are too low in Spire, it's because I just forget something. You know what I mean? Like, you wake up early in the morning, you got like one eye open. I don't drink coffee, but it would have been effectively before the coffee time. And yeah, you just like, you're not paying half attention. You just go in there and just click the button, you know, and whatever happens, happens. So I'm not one of those people to really hide my stats. I mean, I know that it's going to leak really fast, you know. So if anybody cares, the people who care, they're going to know. It's not like you can hide it. But this is officially what's going on. And this is officially maxed. There's, well, 10%, 15% cavalry defense and health and bowman health more that you can get, technically. So I guess I'm 15% off of maxed. We'll talk about that in a minute, though, and why I am. But anyway, so here we go. So it's official. The highest stat is, what is it? Let me look down here. Bowman health, 4350. Is that the highest? Yeah, that appears to be the highest. And you can't see the infantry attack, but it doesn't matter. It's not the highest stat. I mean, you guys can live without knowing my infantry attack. It's, who gives a stink? So there's that. Troop formations. Now we come back to this thing about, yeah, like 50% infantry thing. Mixed march. There's going to be some religious people out there who still are on the mixed march religion. And for you guys, I'm, you know, hey, I think that you have a chance at maybe being right. I don't know. We'll discuss this, though. So this ridiculous amount of T12 infantry, like, that's a stupid amount. And then no T12 or no T11 infantry. But remember, we're trying to achieve a couple of different things. We're trying to maximize our tomes, the sacrifice, because it's going to pull damage away from the cavalry and the bowmen. And I don't know if that helps them kill more or if that just helps them survive more. I don't know, because honestly, they die a lot. So, well, if we can have troops that die less, that's a good thing, right? So however we get that, if we switch it off to a little bit more infantry, I'm cool with that. And so yeah, well, this is what we're rolling with. So it could be a worthless trade-off, and I should just let the bow and the cav die, and use them and let them put in work and kill. But we're gonna try and test this a little bit next raid. So here we go. There's this. The elephant, yeah, comes out again. 525. Man. How did this, like, where does this come about? So I kind of cheat in that I roll with, I don't use the king talent. And I think I screenshotted that here. I don't use the king talent. I don't want to be king. I don't need to be king. We have a great queen. I wish they would call it queen, but they don't. So she's a queen, or she's a king. So anyway, with that, 7-star crystal, talent popped, new research maxed, etc., etc. The new max March is 525. Without this, it's like 509 or something. Without the talent, it's like 509. So I'm rolling around like basically in my undies at 509 with a 50% colossal March. So this is like pushing it. Now technically, I could move my 8-star over onto this, and if I did that, I would go up to 529. So I have tested it. I did move it over there. So for people who are curious about what would be the impact, it's like 529. So let's go to what else I'm using in terms of my 6 troop types. So for critical hit to actually proc, you have to have 6 troop types and no more. So a mixed March is dead. Like forget it. All those like putting 1 in all those different spots, gone. If you want the critical hit to proc, don't use that anymore. It's gone. So there you go. So I'm using this, no T10. So you would think maybe I'm using like the T10 bow. Nope, no T10 bow. I'm using T9 bow. And for the astute reader, you're going to notice that T12 bow, T11 bow, they actually do the same amount of damage. Dun, 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 dun. So what is the difference between T10 or T11 bow and T12 bow? Well, it's what they have that special 25% hidden, you don't see it, boost against. So, yeah, 25%. And T12 bow hit cavalry. T11 bow hit infantry. T10 bow hit cavalry. T11 or T9 bow hit infantry. So you can kind of see here what's going on and why I would pick this. So, I mean, it could roll either way, though. I mean, like, you could put it on T10 bow and have good results. Or you could put it on whatever. I mean, it's going to be your choice of how you really want to mix and match this. And obviously, if you're not using 50% of your infantry, you're going to be able to send a lot more bowmen. However, here's the deal. The way that troop formations kind of sort of works is a diminishing return. So the game will calculate an optimal amount. It's a rather straightforward algorithm. I won't cover this. Who cares? But it's an optimal amount. And then optimal amount means that up to this point, your troops are going to be smashing stuff. Over that amount, you can add more. Instead of it doing like 1-to-1, it's going to be doing like 0.7-to-1, 0.5-to-1, 0.10-to-1. So, I mean, if you put like 100,000 of these bowmen there, they're only going to kill basically a certain amount, and anything over that is going to be a waste. So yeah, I mean, like there's an optimal amount. Putting more doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a linear 1-to-1 increasing kill ratio of what you would see for lower amounts. So again, this goes back to stuff. We kind of covered this already, but I roll with the king talent. I'd rather have 5% more march capacity than the other stuff, the damage and other multipliers. I find this works a little bit better for me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the king talent is better, and I should be, greedy smurf and be the king and all that other stuff. And yeah, but I'm lazy as well. So we have a great queen. Shout out to her. Hot cat herder. So yeah, there we go. We just roll with this. And actually, I think this was maxed. We're just going to skip that for now, though, because I don't know if I hit. So is it 10, something? Let's go back. I think I might have forgot the relic or something like that first. No, I didn't. I think, yeah, so this one is Bowman Defense 40, 83, 56. And this one was Bowman Defense, yeah. So this is the one where I switched things a little bit better. And the reason that I did that is because I'm trying to max, again, min-maxing here for the tomes. Because when your Bowman Defense is higher, you're going to get a little bit more attack there. So just min-maxing and small things like this, it may or may not add up. And I went and popped, for this video, I popped every acolyte I have. Every one of them. So this is like a special, like, it only happens once a year type sale. So this is like me popping all the accolades I can possibly find and just going nuts on it. Because, I mean, they don't give, like, they're not that much difference. I mean, we're talking a little bit here, a little bit there. But, And again, we're talking about damage before. I just want to remind people that the alkaloid that you get from the Undead Trader, that 10% army, infantry, cav, and damage, it's important. If somebody else has it and you don't have it, you can expect that it's going to be a problem for you and more are going to die. You may lose. So especially for the top players, I have to remind you guys, please remember to buy that and get it, blah, blah, blah. And there we go. So that concludes the alkaloids. Now, why am I missing like 15% cavalry defense and health and these things like this? And why was I 10% difference before? Well, let's talk about, like effective battle strategy. I have made a choice, and I think it's the right one, and it works for me. It may not work for you, that I would rather have more healing speed than that 5%, 10% bowman health. Why? Because when you're actually playing the game and you're doing, things quickly, you don't necessarily have time to flip Lord talents back and forth. You may not even have VIP 12. You're just hitting towers and you quickly need to just heal. And the difference is going to be, and we're kind of min-maxing here, the difference is going to be what, maybe 20k, 30k gold if you're just pushing that gold button for the instant heal. And I probably have an absurd amount of gold and I probably shouldn't give two stinks, but like average players that are kind of like in a hurry doing stuff, maybe similar things, this might, that 30,000 gold button or 10,000 gold or however much it is, it might help you. So it gives a little bit more hospital capacity. It saves you a little bit when you're speed healing. There's just some circumstances where it just kind of pays off. So that's why I do this non-pure, I do a little bit of a balanced and war strategy thing. And I don't invest in siege at all. And I only put points in cavalry attack, the defense and the health. I just kind of skipped that. Well, the defense ends up getting 2 points if you follow my exact thing here. Well, anyway, you'll see. If you play with it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But that's the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it triggers you to make comments. You can congratulate me. You can hate me. Whatever it is that you feel like doing. Hopefully this video helped you learn something. I tried to make it a little bit positive with some fun stuff in the middle. Obviously I haven't been doing as much content later. So when content does come out, let's make it worth our while. Remember to hit subscribe and like if you like my videos. And if you don't, well, good luck to you. Other kind of sort of interesting, exciting announcements coming. I don't know if it's going to be this week, next week, 3 weeks from now. I don't know. But when it does come, it's definitely going to be big news. And here's the teaser. Hopefully you're going to be able to like log into my game. I'm going to leave it on that. So I love you guys. And yeah, have fun. See you.